So, hello everyone. Today is a live section. I'm giving this opportunity for anyone who wants to ask questions concerning your mental health. You have struggles, you're unable to meet a provider, and you want help with answering some questions concerning certain struggles. I'm here to answer those questions. This is a live section. It's a free section for you to come up with your questions. Concern you want to talk about any struggles, past disappointment, you're trying to heal, or anything like that. So this is the time I'm just giving it to people out there to throw in their questions and let me see how I can help to answer from the perspective of a mental health professional. Where are you tuning in from? Drop one word that describes how you're feeling right now. And if you're on this live, type healing if you're working on yourself this section. Hello, everyone. If you ever had to heal from a betrayal, drop a broken heart emoji. And I want you to type growth if you're choosing yourself this year. Oh, so this is a live section. I am a mental health nurse practitioner, and I'm giving this platform to everyone who is struggling, trying to recover either from addiction or mental health struggles, and you looking for help, you don't have access to a provider, and even though you have a provider, you just want to come to this platform and share your experiences and tell us what's going on. This is a platform and this is a section that comes on once in a while. I'm just trying this to see if this works. Hi, I see you, Amani. How you doing? Yeah, this is Julia, a mental health professional, and I'm just giving this platform for anyone who wants to share any story, any experiences, what they are going through. And I know a lot of people have a lot of questions they want to ask, and get an appointment to see a mental health professional could be a struggle, and people want to pay. But this is a platform for you to like come in and share if you do want to share. Um, I'm just giving this space for people who wants to heal. This is a platform where we talk about people's experiences, those that are healing, those who want to choose their self this year, those who want to make sure they make themselves priority, those who have given too much and it's time to receive back. So it's a platform for anybody. Everybody is welcome. We just talk about life generally. This life is a safe space to talk about mental health, healing, recovery, betrayal, and the lessons life teaches us. If you ever been hurt, disappointed, or felt like you had to rebuild yourself from the ground up, this conversation is for you. Great. Hello, can anyone hear me? Like I said, this is a life, it's a safe space to talk about mental health, healing, recovery, betrayal, and lessons life teaches us. If you ever been hurt, disappointed, or felt like you had to rebuild yourself from the ground up, this conversation is for you. We're talking about growth, choosing yourself, and learning how to heal without losing who you are. You are not alone. Come on as you are. So you're not alone. I tell you, holding on to things that people have done to us can cause us to grieve and be the losers. But the moment you're ready to let go, you begin to win. I tell you, healing isn't linear. Recovering isn't easy. Betrayal changes you, but it doesn't have to break you. So the take home today, if you're on this live, I want you to know that if you're struggling for any kind of hurt or disappointment that you're trying to rebuild yourself, healing isn't linear. I want to tell you that recovery isn't easy. Betrayal changes you. Sometimes it brings out the worst, like you don't even know that you can get to this point, but it brings out the worst. Emotional healing, recovery, and the lessons learned through pain. This is for anyone choosing growth, like I said. I see your question. You say, can you heal? Let me see. Let me see. So the question, can you heal when you've been talked about too much that it hurts your feelings and soul? Trust me, yes, you can heal. It is very possible. When being talked about has hurt your feelings and your soul, but healing isn't a situation. It looks differently and it's intentionally. So being talked about can hurt deeply because sometimes it makes you feel like you're losing yourself, your reputation, your sense of safety. It can make you question yourself, replay conversations, and carry shame that isn't yours. And let me tell you, the pain is real. It's very easy to say you can let go, you can begin to look at the positive side of life, begin to tell you things, but it is very, very painful and it hurts so deeply. People talk about you does not define you. That is one thing I want you to know at the back of your mind, that when people talk about you, it does not define you. So, number one, what are the healing likes, like the situation to think about? You have to acknowledge the pain. So, acknowledging the pain instead of minimizing it, it hurts, it mattered. You're not too sensitive. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me very well, but I'm just trying to let you know from the question that you asked, can you heal when you're hurt to talk about too much that your feelings and so? Yes, some of this talk, some of this abuse, some of this gossip can pierce through the soul and make you feel like, oh my God, your safety even becomes a concern. But first of all, you have to acknowledge the pain instead of minimizing it, because truly, truly, it does hurt and it does matter. And it's not that you're too sensitive, it's because you're human. Then you have to separate the truth from the noise. You have to ask yourself, what do I know to be true about me? Everything else is just sound. Like, you have to figure out which is the noise and have to separate it from what is real. And then given the loss of safety, sometimes the hardest part isn't the words, it's realizing people you trust weren't safe. So you want to think about rebuilding yourself, you know? You have to rebuild the self-trust, because if you don't trust yourself enough, you're not going to believe any part that you're taking. You're going to feel like, since they already say too much, whatever I do, they're still gonna talk. But gentle truth, healing doesn't mean it never hurts again. It means their words no longer live rent free in your spirit. I want you to take this with you. Healing doesn't mean it never hurts again, but it means that their words no longer live rent free in your spirit. You don't want to give them that opportunity, that place that they can live and walk free in your spirit and make your spirit feel like they are in control. No, that is not going to happen again. Can you really heal when people have talked about it? Yes, yes, you can heal. You can heal over and over again. So your soul can bruise, but it does not shatter easily. They talk about you, but they didn't break you. So that's what you're going to tell yourself. The powerful reframe is, they talk about me, but they did not break me. So you want to go with this, they talk about me, but they did not break me. And you know what? Rebuild yourself by saying this. And healing comes when you stop asking, what did they think of me? And start asking, do I know who I am? Yes, you are who you say you are. What they say, people that talk about you behind, they are afraid of you. They are not up to you. Because if they come to your face and they tell you what they say behind you, you can challenge them and don't let it get to your spirit, because your spirit is the one that is in control. And that's why you're not going to let them live rent free in your spirit no more. It means their words are no longer live. They cannot live anymore in your spirit, and they can no longer control the way you see things, or the things they say about you is no longer going to be, what will motivate or direct how you act or how you live. You are absolutely welcome. You're absolutely welcome. So you can heal. even when the words hurt, because your soul is stronger than their noise. I want you to put that down. Your soul is stronger than the noise. Whatever they say behind you is just noise. It's not going to define you. They talk about you, but they did not define you. Healing begins when you stop carrying their voices, stop listening to their voices, stop carrying their voices, and then the wounds from your words are real. Let me tell you, the brokenness, the hurt you receive, they are real, but you're not going to let it to continue to rise beyond them. And so their words touch you. Your healing will transform you. So if you choose to heal, if you choose to let go, if you choose to stop listening to to their noises, you're going to be transformed. What try to break your spirit will become the reason you heal deeper. So I want you to know that exactly what I said. What tried to break your spirit will become the reason you heal deeper, because you're going to see yourself as a brand new person, and you are no longer let their words to live in your spirit. It's okay to break, it's okay to hurt, but coming out stronger is what matters. No question is too small or too personal to ask on this platform. Go ahead and ask your questions. If you're afraid to ask, chances that someone else need the answer too. So just throw in your questions and let's see how we can go about it. Do this like a free section for anyone having some struggles in life, mental health, betrayal, having some depressive episodes, symptoms that need some, advice. So you're struggling, mood instability, addiction problems. Addiction doesn't really mean you have to use stuff. It could be a behavior cycle. You're struggling with ADHD, you know, a lot of symptoms that has to do with mental health disorders. This is just a platform. We just give educational, motivational advice, and it's a platform for people to share their stories. I was talking to someone that wanted me to share her story. This is a lady. She gave in everything. She had to work Amazon. She worked warehouses to make sure her fiance go ahead going to school so he can flip the table around when he's done so she can continue. He continued and continued and finished his school. First of all, he did his microbiology, and he said he wants to go to medical school. She said she was a little bit, not happy about it because it's going to take a longer time. How long is she going to keep working and doing this stuff so he doesn't have to take all the loans in the world? She was hoping he was going to do like a 4 years course, and then she is going to think about her own as well. So she decided to go ahead because he convinced her he just want to finish medical school and their life is ever going to get better. So he decided to go on to going to medical school. She decided to get a CNA, certification, and started working in schools. Something happened one of the holidays. She got pregnant. She had a baby. He finished his medical school, and to her greatest surprise, he broke off the relationship because at this time he came down with a lot of friends. His level had changed, and she stayed. She was living at that time in North Carolina, doing all the job and everything. So she moved down to Baltimore City and to start her life afresh. So the breakup, the betrayal set her so much backward that she started relying on illicit substances, to cope. And she was also drinking. Social work almost took the little baby away, but thank God for the grandma who came to her rescue. So it's been a struggle. But she said one day she sat down and looked at herself in the mirror and said, why is she doing this to herself? That she's the one losing. And she came from a section. There she booked a session. I saw her, and we started from, accepting the heart and began to work on everything. And today she is the registered nurse. She is working and she has brought herself home. And so let me tell you who lose. The person that thought he was using her is the one who's going to lose. Because no matter how far he goes in life, he's going to live with that conscience that he has done something really, really bad to hurt someone. But that is not the point. That is not where I'm going to. I don't want to call it good news because people talk about karma. Sometimes karma is real, sometimes karma is not real. I mean, I don't want to say it's not real, but sometimes karma doesn't get to the people that we want them to get to. And sometimes people don't tend to experience karma as fast as we want them to experience it. I used to think maybe karma happens to people if there is an afterlife because some people that does something really bad, you just want to sit and see them experience, and feel that pain that they make us go through. Feel that dejection, that rejection, that agony, that sleepless night. The wasted years, the wasted time. You just want them to have that feeling as well. But because it's not happening, we feel like, oh, there is no karma anymore. But long story short, the doctor that betrayed my dear friend all of a sudden went to the hospital, started having pain and stuff from one section to the other. They found a lump. From the lump, they did biopsy. From biopsy, they did that resection and stuff like that. They found, first of all, it was a high grade bowel obstruction that they found, from what I learned. And then from there, they did a resection, small bowel resection. He ended up with a colostomy bag, and then the pain was intense, like that. He went to like a rehab, like a recovery home in a nursing facility. From there, they don't know what was going on. They found out there was something they missed again, and unfortunately, he had a colon cancer. As young as 41 years old, he has a colon cancer, and it was stage 4. That was the last time she heard from him, and he called her begging for forgiveness and all of that. I don't want to say that is karma because cancer can happen to anybody. It can be noticed on time, but at this point, he's deteriorating. I'm sure they're doing everything they can to do radiation and chemo, but the first thing that came to his mind when he was done was the fact that he has really hurt and offended somebody. And he tried to reach out to her to make peace, like, I know that I've been living with this conscience. She said, according to her at that point, she was not ready for forgiveness. She wasn't ready to make peace. And so what she said was, just don't call my number again. But working on that forgiveness aspect, I said, the picture of what the doctor is looking right now is not looking good at all. It looks like he's getting closer to, he is not going to make it. He might end up going to hospice anytime soon. So I try to make her understand that she will do herself the best of the best of, having peace of mind if she can think of forgiving him. I know the wasted years, he never acknowledged the daughter they had together. Very beautiful girl. She never acknowledged her as his own. Never came in to show, his responsibility as a father. All the time she worked Amazon. I know you can tell me. Anyone who has done Amazon job before can tell it's a job that is not, it's draining. Like it's hard. It's very easy to get in, but it's hard to keep. I never really kind of did Amazon job, but I can tell you I have a lot of people, friends who from all over the places that have involved themselves in Amazon jobs, and I can tell you that it's not something that um, it's not like an easy job where you sit, be a secretary, answer phone calls and all of that. But she did that for 2 good years. And then she did other stuff. She did delivery, Instacart. She was supplementing, not to talk of becoming pregnant. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Handsome was able to go through medical school, and Mr. Handsome found someone else who is like his equal, and the next thing he wants to talk about is to let her go, you know. Trust me, it hurts. It is heartbreaking. She drowned. She found herself slipping into drinking, into using other stuff just to forget the moment. But what does alcohol do to you? When you drink, it takes away the effect just for a little bit. And when everything clears out, it's going to be worse. So like I was saying, in terms of alcohol, when do you drink? What do you really drink? So, for those who drink socially, what do you usually drink? Because alcohol has its own cons and pros. Some people drink socially, it doesn't. But in this aspect, she was drinking to stupor. She was drinking to stupor. Like she had to drink to be able to get up, to be able to sleep, to be able to forget for just a moment of time. So, so when she came and was talking about alcohol, drinking alcohol, and all of that, I wanted her to understand what alcohol can do to the brain. It slows brain communication, it brings really poor judgment, lowered inhibition, and alcohol can also impair memory, focus, and decision making. So this all begin to cloud her judgment, begin to cloud her ability to even think well, and she began to sink more and more into what she was doing. And alcohol can also increase anxiety and also cause mood swing. You begin to see a lot of smooth swings. Today she's happy, tomorrow she's sad, next month she's becoming disruptive, she's becoming aggressive. She didn't even want to have anything to do with the baby that they had and all of that. So long term, it can shrink the brain tissue as well, and alcohol can affect learning and memory. It increases risks of depression, anxiety, and mood disorder. So that was how other mental health comorbidities started coming into our lives. And alcohol can worsen impulsivity and emotional regulation. The higher risk of alcohol dependence. So at the point of all these things happening to her, she found herself becoming dependent on alcohol. And we're talking about memory blackouts and long-term cognitive decline. These are all positivity. It's very possible that alcohol use can result to situations like that. And then when you want to consider the effect on the heart and the blood vessels, alcohol raises blood pressure, increases risks of heart diseases and stroke, and can cause irregular heart rhythms as well. So weakens heart muscles with chronic use can be detriment to the health of everyone who drinks alcohol in the long term uses. And then it affects the liver. You have inflammation of the liver, alcoholic hepatitis. You have cirrhosis that comes from permanent scarring, and you have liver failure with long-term heavy drinking as well. So I tried to explain all these things to her, and she began to see. And it also irritates the stomach lining, causes gastritis and ulcers. It also increases acid reflux. Some of people having GERD, um, reflux diseases. It is not sometimes from other causes because alcohol also has like a higher chances and percentage of increasing acid reflux, which interferes with nutrition absorption as well and can inflame the pancreas, which causes pancreatitis. And also, going down to immune system, it can weaken your immune responses, make you more prone to infections. It slows healing and recovery. and so disrupt stress hormones. The cortisol that we know affects serotonin and dopamine. So serotonin and dopamine, those are the main neurotransmitters in the brain that helps to regulate your happiness, ability to see things, mood disorder, feeling depressed, and all of that, being hyper, not wanting to do anything. So these major neurotransmitters in the brain can also be affected, and like I say, it can increase anxiety and depressive symptoms over time. So when the sleep is worsening, you're not sleeping, you're not gonna be happy. Everyone wants to be able to get quality sleep. So you're going through a lot already. She was going through heartbreak. And with the heartbreak and the betrayal, the negligence, she's losing her world, the time that she lost, and everything that happened. At this point, she is giving in to her health, like her health is going down because she chose the wrong method of coping. She chose to cope with alcohol, which is also destroying her life, her entire world. Because the alcohol changes how the brain handles pleasure and stress, and then makes coping without alcohol harder. So when you start drinking to cope, by the time you stop drinking, it's going to be harder for you to cope because your brain is already wired. There is a quick fix. Alcohol is like a quick fix. And now your picture, the big picture is on the quick fix. You just want to get it done and, be able to be sober and then put yourself together and then be able to relax. Because by the time you start drinking, it increases cravings and emotional dependence, and then it can interfere with healing and recovery from trauma. So if you're struggling with that, this is something that can affect. So she did struggle with alcohol when she was heartbroken, and I tried to make her understand all the big pictures behind alcohol. So the first step she did was taking the step from alcohol. And we didn't just do that alone. She was also on natrazine. It was a medication that was prescribed for her, and she did take the medication, and then she was on the medicine every day, would doing therapy, psychotherapy, doing a lot of talking and counseling. And I'm happy to tell you that the story is different today. In one of these live sections, she is going to be here to talk about the struggles and how far she has come and what changes her life and how productive she is and how she feels being on the other side of life, being on the right side of life instead of being on the wrong side of life, you know. Oh, okay. Hello, it's anybody still here? Yes. So, like I was saying, in terms of forgiveness, she struggled with alcohol a lot. That was the main thing that kind of, weighed her down. But with time, when I say with time, she was able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and she made it about herself and not about the situation, because she is the one that is being affected, you know. So how to recover kind of differs for everyone. Recovery isn't one size fits at all. You want to recover, it is not a one size fits at all. Food abstinence is the goal, harm reduction, healing after past use, and progress matters more than perfection. That is the goal. I want you to know that progress matters more than perfection. And so, because you want to heal the brain, right? Give your brain time. Neurochemistry needs weeks, months to rebalance. So, the neurotransmitters, the neurochemistries that are being affected or targeted by some of the substances being used, they need time to heal, to rebalance themselves. So, it's not something they can switch back like in days, or I started today, I'm stopping or quitting. So, it's going to take a little bit of time. And then you want to prioritize sleep. Most powerful healing tool is sleep. People don't know. Sleep is very, very important. It's one of the strongest healing tool when it comes to recovery. And you want to reduce stress. Reduction of stress is good, is bingo. You want to do breathing, you want to grounding, you want to journaling. These are some of the methods that help to reduce what stress. And then limit triggers in high risk situations. Your brain can rewire. Trust me. Some triggers are the environment, the same people, the circles we find ourselves, um, places we go to, things we allow ourselves to see, and how frequency we allow these memories to come back. Some of these triggers and the high risk situations that we can find ourselves, they can cause, time and time for healing to, take place. So limiting triggers and high risk situation also is something. Your brain can rewire. It's called neuroplasticity. Yeah, so if you give your brain the time to heal, it can rewire itself and rebalance, and it's called neuroplasticity. And then I know I'm talking about healing of the brain, but in as much as we want the brain to heal, we also want the body to heal. Very importantly, we want the body to heal. Hydrate daily. Hmm. Alcohol depletes fluid. So you want to keep yourself hydrated, you want to drink. A lot of people don't want to drink water, and you want to drink juice, you want to drink soda, you want to drink this, you want to drink tea, you want to drink coffee. But when it comes to water, a lot of people are slow and just hesitate to drink water. But water is very, very good for the body, for the systems, for the kidney. It flushes so many things out. So you want to hydrate yourself daily, because alcohol depletes fluid, and eat nutrient rich foods. I know you're recovering, you need them: proteins, vitamins, magnesium. One of the reasons when people drink alcohol and they're trying to, and they're going through withdrawal, one of the main things we want to give in the hospitals is thiamine. We want to give thiamine, we want to replace that as well. And so gentle movement, you want to do walking and stretching yourself. You want to go for medical checkup if possible, because sometimes your electrolyte could be wacky. Your electrolyte could be out of the roof. Small changes, big recovery gains. Just make sure you're taking a step. It's one step at a time. Listen, the goal is you're choosing yourself this time, this year. You are choosing yourself. Bingo. You are choosing yourself. You want to grow. So, heal emotionally. Talk about it. You can come for support, groups, trusted people to share. Um, progress. Learn healthier coping skills. You are weak, you are coping. All right, you are coping. You want to replace the habits. Alcohol often fill the role. Your stress relief, sleep aid, social comfort. You want to find healthier replacement. You want to exercise, listen to music, prayer, creativity. You want to keep yourself on a structured routines. So if you do like a structured routine, these are the things that helps people recover from addiction, helps people recover from, substance use. Trust me, the brain needs time to heal, like I said, but cravings can happen. It doesn't mean failure. So when you're trying to recover from, substance use, I'm using alcohol today because the story we're looking at is the lady who went into substance use after she had a serious betrayal, and talking about her situation, the substance that she decided to go into using seriously was alcohol. That's what I'm talking more about alcohol, what alcohol does to the body, does to the system, and and the process of recovering from it. So when you're recovering, cravings can also happen. It doesn't mean failure. But when this craving comes, how do you handle it? That is what is important, okay? You don't recover by hating yourself. You recover by learning to care for yourself. Like I said, the theme is choose yourself this year. You want to grow. You don't want to keep yourself in that same situation. You don't want to be blaming yourself, throwing shade at yourself, telling yourself, "Oh my God, oh my God, You don't want to do that. This year you want to choose yourself and grow.